Most players build their fantasy roster by simply guessing which team are going to win. The top 1% player draft using probability and maths. Hitting the 90th percentile earns you cosmetic terrain tokens, but breaking into the top 1500 worldwide yields a much higher payout, a physical replica of Ages of Champion these days. The most common mistake players make is drafting players from the most dominant teams. A heavily favored team that stomps their opponent in 25 minutes barely has time to generate any fantasy point. This chart shows fantasy point accumulation plotted against game duration. A team cruising into 2 flawless 20 minutes victory nets you around 800 points. A team that drags out a single messy 60-minute loss yields nearly 2000. You don't need to draft the tournament winner. You need to draft the teams that gets dragged into long, exhausting roles. Once you identify the player participating in those long matches, you have to optimize their specific scoring categories. This is a breakdown of highest expected value stats for a core player. Surviving into the late game scales exponentially, making low deaths, high gold per minute, and creeps the absolute yield categories you can draft. For support players, teamfight participation and smoke usage dominate the scoring averages. Avoid categories like runes grabbed or tormentor kits, which rarely generate enough volume in a single match to matter. Each of these base stats receives a percentage multiplier based on its assigned tier level. Tier 1 stat gives you minor 10% bonus, while a tier 5 stat grants a massive 150% increase to your score. Establishing this baseline hierarchy allows you to mathematically evaluate risk which deciding to spend reroll tokens. The most valuable token in the system randomly increases 2 stat qualities and decreases 1. This UI board shows a support player drafted with 2 tier 1s and a tier 3. Using the token here is statistically safe because the potential point gains vastly outweigh the penalty of low tier stat dropping any further. Now look at this mid laner board. We have a highly valuable tier 5 GPM bracketed by 2 garbage stats. Should you use the token? Absolutely not. You have a 33% chance of penalty hitting your tier 5 stat, causing it to drop to a tier 2 or 3 and permanently deleting over 100% in point bonuses. Rerolling carelessly also breaks emblem energies. The fractal trait grants a 60% point bonus if all 3 tier level are different. If a reroll accidentally matches 2 tiers, that massive bonus evaporates instantly. Maximizing your fantasy board requires isolating your risk and protecting your existing multiplier rather than blindly gambling for the perfect stat. Math on a screen only works if mapped to actual humans playing in the booth. You need to filter the tournament bracket for matchup where the team are evenly matched, practically guaranteeing 3 full games. Then, target individual players with defined behavioral pattern like support who spend their early game continuously stacking camps. A perfectly optimized board on day 1 is useless if you abandon it. Players constantly fall out of top ranking by burning all their reroll tokens immediately, or simply forgetting to submit updated roster between the group stage and the playoff. This final flowchart maps the entire optimization process. Filter from match closeness to maximize game length, optimize your highest yielding base stat, and carefully protect your emblem energies from risky rerolls. If you want to catch up with the current status of all the 16 teams and where they are holding, do check out this next video and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, friends.